My current demons are frivolous pursuits and energy drinks. I know they're terrible. I'm just kind of stuck on them. I've always kind of leaned toward speed, which is, I guess, a problem for a lot of thinking weirdos through history. They tend to hew that way. Not that I'm on the level of any of those guys, of the thinking weirdos of history, but there's something about it, that kind of stimulation, that feels like it helps you to work things out, or at least puts you in a headspace where you feel like you're solving things quicker or with more efficiency. I don't know if that's actually true, but so I don't do drugs anymore, and I used to have a Adderall prescription for like 8 years. That was basically drugs okayed by the doctor, because that shit is just trucker speed. That's all it is. It's the same molecule. They call it amphetamine salts, and the reason they do that is because they add like a salt molecule to the structure of the methamphetamine or the amphetamine. And the reason they do that is because they can't just sell fucking speed at the pharmacy, so they had to add that salt molecule, and it's called amphetamine salts. But it's just basically speed. Basically, it's the same thing as just, you know, taking whatever kind of speed. Yeah, throughout life, back in my my wilder days, I was always more of an uptown guy than a downtown guy. But when I went downtown, did I ever go downtown? I got stuck there for a while too. But yeah, I'm being that I don't do any kind of drugs anymore, you have to get the kind of cheap thrills you can. So hopefully I'll work my way out of it. But for now, I get the bull on my back, man. But I was just talking in the comment section of this other video about angels, and I said, yeah, I met an angel. Excuse me, I actually met two, but if you, I don't, can't, it's a bit long story. If you want to check out my video, I'm not trying to plug my schizo channel, but you know, just search the Chad TI speaker was an angel, and it'll pop up. So I went and looked at it, and I just posted it in my timeline, my community timeline, because it had no comments on it, which usually my videos get a couple, but I don't know if it was a case of someone, it just kind of got by people, or if they were just like, didn't know what the fuck to say because it's so crazy. Could be either or, but I decided to watch it, and man, that's hard to get through for me. I'm talking like I'm on speed, and I have broken molars in my mouth that I haven't gotten fixed, so it creates this sort of mush mouth kind of thing that I struggle with, and I was going full mush mouth, and I was spitting words out so fast, and the screen text that I usually put up there, it was at Zoomer speed, you know, because I'm used to kind of watching, seeing it like that, but Zoomers don't watch any of my stuff. It's usually people my age, you know, from what the analytics say, which I don't check very often. I only kind of check to see if the government's still following me, which I'm not sure now anymore. But anyway, that's another subject. But yeah, so the words that I put on the screen come up way too fast and they go down. I'm like, no one's gonna get anything out of this. It sounds and looks crazy. So I should probably redo that. I did a couple angel videos about the angels, but I should do one where I'm not spitting out words so fast, and you know, one where you can understand what the hell I'm saying, you know. So that's on the docket. I don't have a docket, but you know what I'm saying. This Oppenheimer thing, it's just to remind people that nuclear weapons are totally real, you guys. When they're fucking totally not, you guys. Yeah, they're Galen Windsor, who is what was he? A nuclear physicist or a nuclear... He's nuclear something. His video is still up on YouTube, the one where he eats the uranium cake. To show that it's actually harmless. And that the whole thing about the nuclear power and nuclear weapons is just a bunch of bullshit. It's a psyop to traumatize people, and it traumatized the fuck out of me when I was a kid, man. You know, you heard about this all the time. It started in my parents' like generation. You know, there's videos of kids like hiding under a desk. It's humiliation. It's like, yeah, just hide under your desk. Look, see? And then it shows the whole fucking building explode. It's like, well, what? I don't know if that's gonna help, you know? So then they bombard you with these movies, these fucking Day After. In the UK, you had When the Wind Blows, which was awful because it showed old people in peril. One thing I can't stand is old people in peril and cartoons in peril. And they mix them both together to really fuck you up. And it was a thing that was in the back of my mind, like as a kid, kind of always there, you know, like that, the possibility of that being a thing. It just kind of hung over you the whole time. Guys, there's so much space out here. Are you trying to, do you want me to hear your conversation? I don't understand that when people do that. That's why I slowed my roll down to a crawl back there, because those two right there were right on my back. They probably don't realize it. Like you know, they're actually in conversation. They're probably having a good time. They have no idea. But a lot of people do that shit. They just get right up on your back, even though there's tons of space, right? They could go over here, there. But sometimes I just go super slow and let them, well, I better go. Super slow to try to get them to figure it out, and man, sometimes it takes a while. I say that, right? Like, there's a lot of space, and they should be able to take the other space instead of like staying right on my fucking ass the whole time. But it doesn't happen to me. You know, when I see people, I don't walk up right on their ass and stay there, you know? Yeah, it's fucked up. I'm just hanging on here a second because I think those kids said something about me. So what I do, that's what I usually do. I stop and I give people a chance to say whatever the fuck they want. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk right by them again. But I'm going to light a cigarette. And then we're going to go. And then we're going to go. And if Ross is still open, we're going to go into Ross too. Yeah, after, I'm usually not out this late. It's like 10:30. Around this time of night, like a lot of the tourists go into their hotels, and when you're in the hotels, and they go in early because there is nothing to do here, nothing to do here at night, you know, nothing to do at night. All right, just like to give people a chance. Yeah, there's a lot of passive aggressive shit like that here, where like that happened the other day with me over by International Marketplace. And I know it was specifically for me. Like for that thing over there, I'm not sure, because I was just kind of walking by, heard a bunch of different stuff at once. But I like to give him a chance. But it was just me by myself, and no one else out there, and this guy on the stairs. So he's mumbling to himself like a lot of these fucking assholes do as I'm walking by. And then I hear him say like, pathetic, really loud. And they do this because it gives them an out. Like, oh, I wasn't talking to you. That kind of thing. It's passive-aggressive horseshit, you know? So I go back right out. I stop. As soon as I hear pathetic, I stop. Like I always do. And I say, yeah, I want to give him a chance to say what he has to say, not do it in an under my breath passive aggressive way like what happens here. So I go back over to him, like right near him, but I'm not looking at him. This is the move, right? So I go over like as close to him as could be possible without being obvious. I turn my back to him and I can see he's looking at me, you know, from my peripheral vision. And I turn over to look in his direction, but over his head. Now, you need to be, you know, whatever. So I turn to look over his head, and he puts his head down. So now I get closer to him, because he's sitting right near the stairs. And I just go on the stairs and pretend I'm on my phone. It's kind of like what I was doing back there with those guys. And because it gives him a chance, or them, to fucking, if you got something to say it. Don't say it fucking as I'm walking by. You know, I'm standing here, we fucking go ahead. And not, you know, usually it's nothing, because it's passive aggressive bullshit. Like they don't want to have a problem, you know what I mean? So they don't actually want to do anything about it. They just want to, as you walk by, they just want to say something like to you and just have you keep walking. Because most people, I think, just keep walking, you know, most normal people. So yeah, I started just kind of, because I was kind of mad at the same time with this guy, because I'm like, I'm just walking by, you know, this isn't, you know, and the case of the thing back there, those like gangs of kids like that, that's new. That's because they brought those people here during the lockdowns, but I've talked all about that anyway. You wouldn't see that kind of thing before. But, so now I'm just walking around this guy like a psycho, but making it look like I don't know he's even there. Like I'm looking like over to see it. You get the fucking idea. And yeah, he didn't have shit to say. He's just looking down at his fucking phone. So I'm like, yeah, I should just keep moving, you know. So I'm like, yeah, but at the same time, fuck that. I'm gonna go into the store behind him. I'm gonna get a drink, and then I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna walk right by him again the way I first walked by him around this little thing. So I go in, I buy the drink, I come out, he's gone. Whatever. But yeah, I don't. If I think like someone's like trying to clown me, I just fucking stop, and I don't face off with them because I'm not sure. You know what I mean? So I don't want to be, you know, a crazy paranoid guy. So what I usually do is I just get in their area and I give them all the time they need to say whatever they want, you know. And 9 out of 10 times, they're not going to say shit, you know, because it's that very female, very womanly, passive-aggressive thing, you know, like, you know, I'm going to try to get away with just saying something to this guy, but not actually do anything about it. And I'm not saying that's a smart thing to do, because, I mean, who knows? Anyone could have like a gun or a knife, and there are a lot of psychos here, especially since the influx of new residents after the lockdown. There's a lot more murders, there's a lot more assaults, there's a lot more robberies, because we have the people that do that kind of shit here now, and we didn't have them before. But it's kind of happening in every blue state. It sounds like some crazy conspiratorial thing, but it's not. It's another one of those things that if you brought it up, people would be like, oh, you're crazy. It's like, yeah, well, you know, we've had a 42% jump in violent crime in one calendar year. At the same time, we had an influx of people that were brought here to fill up the spaces of mainly island families, generational islanders who have been here for years. You guys drove out of here because you held on to the COVID money and you didn't pass it out when the federal government gave it to you. So they had to move to Las Vegas or the fucking woods or go in the ocean. Now you get all these empty spaces, and you go to the landlords and the owners of these empty spaces and say, hey, if you make your space low-income housing, we can pay you. You know, like, well, we can't. It's not zoned for low-income housing. And then they go, well, we're in a state of emergency, so we can do this we can make it low-income housing. So now they have all this empty low-income housing space. And they bring in new people from the mainland and from another continent. You can probably guess which one. The same one they're dispersing people all over the world from. And then here they are. And when that happened, crime shot through the roof. We didn't have the kind of crime that you see here now. I'm not going to get into this thing. I did a whole fucking series about this. It's unfortunate, but it's not just us it's happening to. It's happening. And it's not even the people who they're using as a cudgel to beat people with. It's not even their fault. They're being used like as a biological weapon to be put into an area where they know there's no compatibility there. And they know that there's going to be problems. And they know they have enough of them in place that if they need to do one of their little protests that they like doing now in modern times, they can activate all these golems that they have. Because that shit wasn't going on in Hawaii. They were really salty. Because what happened was when there was one thing, what was it? Oh, it was the George Floyd things. They were going to have some kind of day of protest. They boarded up everything here. Everything was boarded up, spent a lot of money boarding things up. There's a lot of weird shit that happened around that. I'll have to do some videos on that, about people that came here to try to stir up shit. That's a whole separate video though, because I'm almost that long. And then no one popped off. No one did anything. And I know it upset them. Because the Islanders don't give a shit about that stuff. Samoans, Hawaiians, generational Islanders, Filipinos, those people, they don't care about that, their causes, because they have their own problems with the government. I mean, the government's occupying their land. That's kind of a problem. So they don't care about these racial strife problems between blacks and whites. They don't, it's not, so they weren't tearing down the place like they wanted them to. So like, oh well, we'll fucking get rid of these people and we'll bring in people that we have control over because we, you know, pay for their to live from cradle to grave. So, and we know they'll do what we say, not only because of that, but they're just, a lot of those people are a little bit more trickable, you know? And again, it's not even their fault. You know, like the things you watch on the news, like for the past few years, and people burn down cities and stuff, it's like, it's sad, because they're being used, you know? So we have them in place here now for when the next pop-off goes. But this thing, the way they did this here, was done in every other blue state. Maine's going through it right now. The thing I still haven't figured out, though, is exactly how the recruitment process goes. Like, because some of these people are from the mainland, right? So how do they propose it to these people? Like, hey, do you want to go live fucking in Hawaii? They don't fucking know anything. They don't know what Hawaii is. They don't know anything about it. Why would they want to? There must be some kind of incentive, like some kind of money incentive. Like, okay, if you move here, because everything's paid for anyway. You know, they don't. You know, the government pays for the food and the housing and all the shit. So maybe there was a cash kind of incentive. I don't know. I haven't done a poll among the new arrivals, and I'll tell you what, I'm not going to. So I'm just going to be left to wonder, I guess, about how exactly the mechanism of action there, what that was. So yeah, angels, forced immigration, and fake nuclear weapons. I think that about covers it. Thanks for dropping by. I'll see you soon. Don't blame the teacher, blame the school.